went to as a big birthday party celebration, second to the church where he pastors as creative arts pastor. But you know, things like that. Again, I have people, you know, at home who just say, I just want to go and just listen to the carols, yeah? Just, you know, and these people have just over-commercialized this thing. And I mean, it looks like a concert, you know, of this guy and that guy, and you know, they'll throw, and for them it's just, it feels like we are losing the point. I mean, we are consumed with state-of-the-art productions, and we are losing the point, and we are sort of caught up in the commercialization and sort of consumer culture that is Christmas. And I'd like you to, because a lot of the kids, yeah, like, yo, that was cool, it was awesome, man, you see those lights. The parents are like, hey, why don't they just say, like, you know, our days we just go light a candle, you know, stand there and, you know, just that we had the point. You guys have lost it. You're about lights and flash and what, but you miss the mark of what Christmas is about. Do you think that is true?
I would disagree, respectfully.
Yeah.
Because every single person that is involved in creating a cantata, and there's hundreds of them, there's hundreds of man-hours put behind producing the sort of show that you have just seen.
Yeah.
We're talking choir members, anywhere between 200 and 300 choir members, individual voices. Yeah. Talking about 10, 12 musicians, a whole army of technicians running front of house, running lighting, writing video projection. Each of those people is an individual who has had occasion to meet Jesus. It's an individual who had a life that was one way and met Jesus, and their life is now a different way. It is on a path of light, on a path of prosperity and freedom and all good things that come from our Father. These people have a skill. They need an opportunity and some way to use that skill for the glory of God. So a person that is trained in 3D lighting is not going to fully express what they're feeling on the inside using their hands with a candle.
Yeah.
That had its day. Today we are a church that is focused on doing things new and reaching a new generation and making it appealing to the people that find that sort of thing as their cup of tea. So why shouldn't it be the same as or better than any concert of any artist you can name? I mean, you saw that. It's people who have said, why shouldn't we give the best for Jesus? Yeah. And I am happy to give them that opportunity and to direct and produce a show that absorbs all these different skills that people have.
Yeah, because a lot of times we're afraid, again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, as we have, I like to call it the Salazar mentality. It's just, we are afraid to come out as Christians and do because we do not know the line between what is glorifying and what comes off as vanity, you know, and we are very afraid to say, you know what, I want to go out and do something great, but I'm scared that I may probably get caught up in it, or I might lose it and stuff like that, or people might not interpret it very well, so I'm going to stay small and just, you know, but it helps here. But let's talk about cantata. Tell us a bit about the background of cantata. You're telling us about, it's been around for 30 years.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that. Like, how have the last 30 years been for status?
Yeah, Watoto Church is 30 years old. We had a big party in June this year. Yeah. The actual birth date is 22nd April. It was Easter Sunday 30 years ago. Yeah. And every end of year, at Christmas time, we have looked around the room and said, this city that we live in, the city of Kampala, what can we do that is a gift to this city at Christmas time? A gift is normally free of charge. That's why for 30 years we've never charged for the show. It is always free entrance, and for the foreseeable future it's going to continue to be free entrance. But what do we have in our hands that we can use to put together a gift to bless the city of Kampala that we love so much? And so at Christmas time, that is what we have done with the skills in the room. So I was telling Twanjex earlier that it wasn't always the way you see it now. It wasn't always flashing lights. It wasn't always, you know, crazy laser dancers, whatever. 30 years ago, the church was a different place. There was no dance in church. Dance came in the mid-90s, where it was even acceptable. That's another area in which I feel we were trailblazers, because no one was doing it, and we said, why not? We have young people that are full of Jesus and have this skill that they want to use to express their love for Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the first to give them an opportunity. And now it's everywhere. Lights, different story. I mean, we were talking about stained glass windows in cathedrals back in the day.
Yeah.
All that was natural light. It was high up there. Sometimes they were constructed in accordance to where the sun, the path of the sun. So at a certain point, the sun is shining through that window and illuminating that image, but it's also lighting the podium, lighting this area. And now we have moving heads, we have intelligent lighting, we have laser, we have all sorts of things that were not there 30 years ago. So naturally, it has continued to evolve and evolve, and it's just keeping with the times, but also as people grow in the skills that have become available now, all these other mediums in which they can express their love for Jesus, we give them the opportunity.
So speaking of, I mean, with the we were talking about had the stained glass conversation while we were in the break, and we just, because we had, and it's a question Tony was asking a lot earlier, we have, a lot of us grew up in the traditional church, at least people who are my age, if you're, you know, if you didn't experience the traditional church, then
old school.
Yeah, I mean, we grew up in the traditional church. I mean, you went to St. Andrews, you went All Saints Cathedral, you went, and they were designed a certain way, a certain grand, artistic, feel. And we're talking about, the whole stained glass, and haven't we? Those things were done as a depiction of the greatness of God. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what this boys were trying to achieve. Now, the modern church has come in and said, stained glass, I don't know whether it's a commercial, it's too expensive, What do you think we have lost something there? Don't you think, and not just in the aspect of the stained glass, but in the transition, and this is a question that has absolutely nothing to do with Christmas, but in the transition from what we like to call the traditional church to the modern church, we're kicking out the hymns. A lot of people have, they're like, hey, we shall sing Hillsong only. Those things are for old people. Yeah, kicking out the hymns. Haven't we lost some in that transition of trying to be different and relevant to the younger people? Because the traditional church is not very, haven't we lost it? Part of the thing that. Haven't we lost something in that transition?
Well, the answer to that is not a right and wrong.
Yeah.
It is very subjective and is very dependent on my feeling, which might be different from yours, which might be different from the next guy. But this is what I will say, and I'll say it very carefully. In the church today, you can define the culture of the church in 3 ways. The culture of the church is who is sitting in those pews, and there are 3 ways you can define it. Those 3 ways are music, music, and music. I guarantee you that if you pick music of a certain generation, say we did only hymns, the traditional hymns that we grew up on, and start a stop clock, and stop it in 6 months and see who's sitting in the church, it's your parents and my parents, and everyone who was from that culture of music. Everyone that got saved yesterday and had no relationship with Jesus, and they're not going to be there.
The MTV generation.
They're going to be with in the church that is bringing it.
Yeah.
If you do it only new school, MTV generation, and it's all hip, and we have a DJ on the worship team, and it's all banging. Stop the clock in 6 months and look who's sitting there. It is all the university students, it's the young school people, and there are no parents.
So it's at the end of the day, it's thinking about who you want to come to your church.
Exactly.
Okay, so, before we let you go, Cantata 2014.
Yes.
What do you have? Because we have seen people flying from the roof. We have seen snow. Like, what do you have? What do you have 2014? Because sometimes, okay, where are they going to go now? Yeah. So what do you?
How much higher can you go?
Yeah.
Have an incredible team
Yeah.
of talented, creative people that cook up stuff every year.
Yeah.
And we didn't announce what was coming
Come
until
on.
the year of the snow, because all the ads and whatever had snow happening. So
Yeah.
people were wondering what's up with this until they were in the middle of a show in a roofed building and it was snowing everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, how in the world did they pull it off?
Yeah.
It's called special effects.
Yeah.
It's something you add to a show to take it from what's normal and ordinary to something that's awe-inspiring, commensurate to who God
So
is.
is that you saying you're not going to comment on what's happening this year?
I can maybe give you a sneak peek.
Sure.
We're trying to create some stuff that has never been done before, at least not by us and maybe not by anyone in thousands of miles.
Yeah.
This year we're trying to create, in the Christmas story, there's parts where the angel comes and talks to Mary or talks to Joseph. We want to create an angel.
Oh.
How we're going to do that?
Okay. All right. Well, when does the cantata start? So tell us a bit about that. When does it start?
The cantata starts on the 18th of December and runs all the way to Christmas Eve.
But there's something, because there's the one we always forget about, the one the weekend before, the children's cantata.
Yes.
Which I think everyone needs to attend, because I've been there and it's just adorable. It's beautiful. What's happening with the children's cantata? Do you have all that is for the person who does Sunday school? You know,
everyone is welcome to children's cantatas,
Yeah.
which we have during our Sunday celebrations.
Yeah.
And we have it staggered across all our celebration points.
Yeah.
There's 3 on one weekend and another 3 on another weekend.
Yeah.
But it's actually in the service times,
Yeah.
which for the other celebration points is 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 12 midday.
Yeah.
At Central, it's at 9 o'clock, 11, 1, and 3
Yeah.
on the weekend of the 13th,
Okay.
13th which is a Sunday
Yeah.
in December. That's when the kids' cantata is. And it's really a Christmas story strung together like a cantata, but completely performed
by children. All right.
And so
That's
we have
on the
parents
13th.
coming, grandparents, everybody. Come on. Yeah.
So 13th, the children's cantata,
Yeah.
and 14th, or 18th, sorry.
18th is going to be a Thursday.
Eight-
That's when we open to the
18th to the
public.
24th?
24th.
24th.
Christmas Eve is the last shows, which will be at 6 o'clock
All right.
or 8 p.m.
Cantata is completely free, so go. Carry a friend, carry your grandmother. It's those things you do for weddings. You get a bus from the village. Yeah, let them come and watch the cantata. Thank you very much, Graham, for coming to the show.
Thank you.
We appreciate the insights. Hopefully we'll have you here again. Talk about, we have a lot of things behind the scenes where we just said, but these people's music. But we'll have you back on the show to just talk a bit about that maybe sometime.
Absolutely.
You're watching NTV GXP. We'll be back in just a bit. Of course, don't forget, you can keep your messages coming through on Twitter and on Facebook, NTV_GXP on Twitter. We appreciate that very much. All the shouting out, we'll be reading your messages in just a bit. Everyone on Facebook, thank you so much for liking the page and for all the comments that come through. We'll be getting to you in just a bit. But for now, let's give DJ Tonjex a few minutes to just start off, the birthday party in November. Yeah? You're watching NTV GXP. Good morning.